Well known in the Western Cape for allegedly being one of South Africa's biggest abalone smugglers, somebody wanted Ernie Solomon out of the way. In May, Solomon and his son were shot and injured outside one of his businesses here in Hawston. A third person with them was killed. And while he managed to survive this attack with 5 gunshot wounds, on Friday he was brazenly killed in broad daylight while driving in Boksburg. Ernie Solomon was a man with many personas: gang boss, abalone king, peacemaker, Khoisan leader, and even filmmaker. But residents of the Hawston seaside village did not want to speak when we visited the area to find out more about his murder. One resident mumbled something about a family feud and a battle for turf and power. And finally one broke her silence and spoke to us off camera. She described Solomon as the man in charge of the village, saying he had a heart of gold. She nearly broke down when she said Solomon financially supported those in need, often handed out food, and hired a bus to take the village pensioners to the V&A waterfront. When asked where Solomons lived, the locals said he had more than a dozen properties, but that his family had left en masse to Johannesburg to identify his body.
Along the windswept coastline of the Western Cape, a high-stakes criminal empire grew from the ocean's bounty. A multi-million-dollar illicit trade centered around a humble marine snail, abalone, transformed quiet fishing towns like Hawston into battlegrounds. At the heart of it all was one man, Ernie Solomons. Known as Hawston's most feared gangster and abalone taxman, Solomons ruled with an iron fist. But his reign did not end peacefully. This is his story, a tale of greed, violence, and the price paid by communities caught in the crossfire. Hawston, a small seaside village near Hermanus, was once a place where families survived through traditional fishing. But in the 1990s and 2000s, everything changed. A massive black market demand for abalone, known locally as perlemoen, swept across the Boksburg coast. Abalone became a luxury delicacy in East Asia, where a single kilogram could fetch hundreds of dollars. Criminal networks saw an opportunity, and the lure of quick wealth was impossible to resist. What began as simple harvesting evolved into a highly organized criminal enterprise. Cape Flats gangs moved into coastal towns, transforming them into strategic hubs for poaching, smuggling, and extortion. The local economy, once rooted in honest fishing, became entangled with illegal abalone. Gang domination replaced peaceful community life. Among the rising figures in this underworld was Ernie Solomons, a name meaning troublesome or terrible. He was linked to the notorious 28's prison gang and the terrible Joester Street gang, giving him influence that stretched far beyond Hawston. Locals feared him not only for his reputation, but for the uncompromising way he enforced control. Solomons wasn't just a poacher, he was the gatekeeper. According to those who knew him, he fashioned himself as Hawston's own sheriff of Nottingham. Divers and local poachers were required to pay him protection fees, a tax on every crayfish or abalone taken from the ocean.
The gangs in South Africa is the 26, is the 27s, is the 28s. You understand? They control in the prisons. You know this cut in my face. I got it because of the number. I was very young and didn't know what the number really means to me. And there's a lot of children who grow up without fathers because of this number. I have 37 years of experience in this number, and I did learn something. But what I've learned is what I tell you now, to be more serious about yourself, to be not in the number.
During the 2000s, Solomons and his terrible Joesters expanded their influence. Hawston became a safe haven for poaching syndicates and drug dealers. Some residents later claimed that the fear he instilled was almost a twisted form of stability. To them, paying Solomons meant protection from other, more violent gangs. Meanwhile, the profits from abalone fed into drug trades involving mandrax and later tick, tightening the grip of crime on the Boksburg region. Throughout the coast, property, boats, and houses became instruments of control. Criminal networks bought land and established strongholds. Hawston was no longer just a coastal village. It was a vital link in a criminal supply chain stretching from the South African coast to markets in East Asia. But Solomon's control did not go unchallenged. As abalone prices climbed, tensions boiled over. Hawston witnessed violent clashes as competing gangs fought for dominance. Residents endured break-ins, robberies, intimidation, and extortion. Fear dissolved community trust, and police forces were often overwhelmed, with locals claiming some officers even favored certain gangs. One violent confrontation in Hawston saw homes set ablaze, gun battles erupting in the streets, and lives lost.
Well, on Friday, another alleged Cape gang leader was killed. His car was showered with bullets in Boksburg in Gauteng. Ernie Lastig, Solomon's daughter, her baby, and another person were wounded in that attack.
Gangsters from Cape Flats infiltrated the area more aggressively, recruiting children by paying them in drugs to help harvest abalone. For many young people, crime became a way of life, deepening the breakdown between generations. For many years, Solomon's maintained control, but as time went on, cracks appeared in his empire. By the late 2010s, rival gangs, new leaders, and even international interests began to challenge his authority. The abalone trade had grown too large, too lucrative, and too violent for one man to command. Internal divisions within the 28s, pressure from younger gang bosses, and the involvement of foreign syndicates all threatened his dominance. In November 2020, Ernie Lastig, Solomon's, was assassinated. His death sent shockwaves through South Africa's criminal underworld. Without him, a vacuum formed in the illegal abalone trade. Rival factions immediately moved to seize power, igniting conflicts that threatened to plunge the Boksburg into deeper violence. Some believed his murder stemmed from disputes over protection fees. Others suspected internal betrayal or clashes with newer, more globally connected syndicates. Solomon's assassination marked the end of an era. For years, he had exercised a form of control over the illegal market that neither police nor government had managed to replicate. With him gone, his territories fractured. Some residents feared that chaos would follow, while others hoped his downfall might finally allow lawful development to take root. To this day, authorities continue to fight the abalone trade. Marine units, SAPs, and environmental enforcement teams conduct frequent raids. Boats are seized, dried abalone worth millions is confiscated, and long-standing smuggling routes are disrupted. Yet the trade persists. The profits are enormous, and the criminal networks involved are resilient, adaptable, and deeply entrenched. Despite the challenges, local communities and activists continue to hope for change. They believe that sustained law enforcement, community collaboration, and economic support can help break the cycle. Hawston, like many coastal towns, stands at a crossroads, torn between a rich natural heritage and the scars left by decades of crime. The story of Ernie Solomon's is not just about one man's rise and fall. It is the story of a community caught between desperation and corruption, of a resource turned into a weapon, and of a criminal empire built through fear, money, and the sea. The abalone trade brought wealth to a few, but at the cost of lives, unity, and the environment itself. Even today, the struggle for control continues. And until the violence ends, Hawston remains both a place of striking natural beauty and a haunting reminder of what greed can do to a community.